Hi everyone, welcome back to Engineer by Design, where today I thought I'd take you through a little bit of a different project. This one is going to have three components rather than the one that I usually make, so it's going to be a little bit more of a, let's say, intermediate design, but I'm going to take you through it all step by step, um, and hopefully you'll be able to learn a new thing or two. I was looking at new projects for myself to get into, and I saw this really cool idea for like a desk cup holder, anti-spill holder for the desk. You can get this one on Amazon, it looks like. And I guess the idea of stuff like this is that it uses this threaded rod. Here, I'll go back to this one. It uses this threaded rod and this little section right here, and it kind of lets you adjust it to the size of your desk. So these are like universal to all desks. I guess unless you have a desk that's like 3 inches thick for some reason. But in any case, I thought it was kind of a cool idea. And I guess the idea behind it is if you're working at your desk or like even at your table or something, since you can kind of put these anywhere, the idea is that if you go to reach for something like a pen or a pencil, or you're working on a project, you're reaching for some scissors or something like that, you won't accidentally bump over like a bottle of water or a cup or a can of soda or Pepsi or Coke or whatever it is you're drinking. So I think that is the idea behind it. I do think it's actually a pretty good idea, and you can model these up pretty easily. I won't go exactly with what these are, but I do really like the ideas behind them. Oh, look at this one. This one's built right into the table. It's a side shelf, which is very interesting. So here's a really cool set of them. But yeah, I thought that we could model up something similar to this. I do really like this little groove in here, so we might kind of play around with that idea. But for now, let's hop into, oh, here's one that you could print off printables. But yeah, for now, let's just hop into Fusion 360 and we will get to making one ourselves. So here we are in Fusion 360. I've got my workspace already, so let's just begin modeling it. So first things first, if you want to make it for yourself, you can go online and see like general what's it called, dimensions for like a cup or a mug or a can of Pepsi, or just measure one at home. I just took the biggest mug that I have, which is about 3 3/4 of an inch in diameter on the outside, not on the inside. So please keep that in mind. Don't measure the inside diameter of your mug. So we will just begin. I'm going to start with a center diameter circle, and we will go off the center, and I will bring this out. And even though I said that the biggest outside diameter is 3 1/4, what we're actually going to do is we're going to make it 4 inches. So it'll just barely fit on the inside of there. Then we're just going to go with solid. We're going to extrude this. And I didn't really measure the overall height of it. It doesn't matter as much, but it is about 3.5 inches tall. So we'll just go with 3 just so it can stick up above the top here. Actually, now that I look at it, it's probably closer to 4 inches tall. So there's that. What we can do is now we will create a hollow kind of shape for it to sit in. So we are going to hit this shell feature. We're going to hit the very top of this because this is what we want to make hollow. And we want the edges to be 1/8 of an inch, so 0.125. And actually, I have to go and change something. So here, this is going to be the inside where the mug is sitting. We actually have to make this 4.25 because of the size of the walls. The inside diameter is actually now going to be 4 inches. I'll show you guys what I mean. But basically, you want to make this base 4.25. And then if we measure the diameter here, it should be 4 inches exactly now. You see, 4 inches because we made the walls 1/8 of an inch thick. So now I do need a slot for my handle for my mug, and that's pretty easy to make. You could just construct it on this plane and then just extrude it out, but I'm going to show you a little bit of a neater way to do that. And it's going to involve a couple extra steps, but I think it's well worth it to make a nicer looking product. So we're going to go to construct over here, and we're going to hit tangent plane, and we are going to hit this face right here. And then the reference plane, let's see. The reference plane is going to be referenced to this plane here, which is the ZX plane. And it's on that side. I'd rather it just be on this side. So I guess I didn't really need to do much, but in any case, I didn't really need to reference that, but in any case, so I'm going to hit this and I'm going to start sketching on there. So now we are going to hit center circle diameter. We're going to hover above here. We're not going to click here, but we're going to hover here and get that dotted line. And we're going to bring that out. And I'm going to make it, I don't know how thick it is, maybe like 1.25. I think that's more than big enough. And we will make this sit about an inch above the origin. And then, as you can see, this is not currently set in place. I can grab it and move it around. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit horizontal vertical and make sure that the points are sitting completely vertical to each other. Next thing, we're just going to go with a 2-point rectangle, and I'll show you a neat way to do this. We're going to hover above here, drag it out until we get that X, and we're just going to bring it out. It does not matter how far up we go. Not yet, anyway. And we're going to hit coincident and make this coincident about here. So one thing to keep in mind is I can still grab this and move it around. And I want this to be tangent to this circle. So we're going to hit tangent, and we're just going to go with this line and this circle, and bam, there we go. Next thing I'm going to do is I want it to sit collinear on here. So I'm just going to hit collinear, and oh, excuse me, I'm getting a little ahead of myself. I need to go to create and go to project include, and I'm going to hit project, and I'm going to project this top line so that I can make it collinear because it's not technically a part of the sketch surface. So the sketch surface is not going to see this here because I'm technically making this whole circle up here projected onto this flat surface. So now that's selected, I'll hit collinear. This is already selected, so I just need to hit here and we're good. Now I want to make these nice and rounded, and there's two ways to do that. I can finish here and emboss it. I'm going to show you in a different way, which is to do it with diameter circles, because the fillet tool will not grab this projection. So I'm just going to show you a new way to do that with center circle diameters. This is not something you really need to do. You can just use the embossing tool and just use the 3D sketch fillets. But again, sometimes you're not able to do that depending on your project. You kind of have to do it this way. So I'm just going to show you this way. First thing we're going to do is we're just going to create two circles in any spot, and we're going to make them equal to each other. And then we are going to, there it is, define their size. I'll just go with 0.75. And now what we're going to do is we're just going to set the circle's tangent to both this projected line, and we're going to set a tangent to this line here. So again, that's that one. We're going to set a tangent to the projected line and to the side line. And that's it. Now all we're going to do is we're going to just trim here, and we're basically done. And then I'm also going to trim here and this. Let's see now. Oh, let's make this tangent to this, and yep. And that is going to be the slot for where our mug is. Let's delete this. So what we're going to do, like I said, you could just make it on this plane here. You could just make this on this plane here, but again, I just wanted to show you a nice way to do that, because I'll show you why here. You can just extrude this and go back, and that looks fine, but it's not really matching the curvature of the object. It's just kind of going straight in, and I feel like that's not really great practice when you're designing something, I guess, unless this situation really does call for it. So what I'm going to show you is going to go to sketch, reveal the sketch. We're going to go with this embossing tool, and we're going to select this sketch, and we're going to select this face to emboss. Oh, and it's already selected. We're going to go minus 0.125, which is the thickness of this right here. We're going to hit OK. And now, if we get rid of the sketch, if we look on the top, you now see that it is matching the curvature perfectly of what we're doing. Okay, so now that that's done, we are going to now make the kind of the part that's going to be holding this holder onto the desk. Excuse me, I can't really talk right now. So we're going to hit create sketch, and we're actually going to do it on this top lip right here. And I'm just going to flip this down just so it's a little bit easier for me to envision. We're going to use the line tool, and we're going to move all the way out. And we will define the length. We'll go like, I think 4. I think 4 will be good. So next thing we're going to do is now we are going to make a line, not a construction line. We're just going to make an arbitrary length line out here, and then we're going to connect it to the midpoint. So midpoint constraint, this dot to, excuse me, this point to this line, and now it is perfectly in the middle. And we are going to bring this out. Well, that's a nice size. We'll go 2.5, and actually we might even go like 3.5. No, 3.75. That's fine. So then what we're going to do is we're going to have 2 lines going out, and they're just going to intersect exactly where this is. Now, you could do a center diameter circle from here out, but again, just to keep you from kind of doing that, because you could mess it up, because then at that point you're kind of working with sizes and you might not hit exactly here. So the safest bet for me, I find, is just to project it, right? So just go to create, project include, project, and hit this outside. Then we're going to go to solid, extrude, and we're just going to extrude this down. I want it to be fairly strong, so we'll go down like 1/2 inch. Okay, so I like the look of that. And we actually have to make this again, but more down here, because we need something for our thread to go through. And we can't just kind of do that in midair, so we're going to create an offset plane. And it's going to be, I'm going to hide the bodies. It's going to be off of this plane, which is the XY plane, right? Oh, geez. Oh, gosh. There we go. So it's going to be off of the XY plane. And then something that I do to help me envision it, I will just go off of the normal plane, which is going to be the ZY plane, and I'm going to bring it up to how far I think I need it. We'll maybe bring it up like 1.5. And we can always adjust this as we need it. So now we're going to create a sketch on this plane. And all we're going to do at this point is we're just going to create, and we're just going to project this, this, and this. And now we're going to do the thing I said don't really do, center diameter, and we're going to connect it to this point. Then we're going to just trim that. Okay? So, no, oh, just trimmed it again on accident. So there we go. And now we can bring this out. I think that's a good size. We can bring this down another 0.5, and let's measure the distance between them. So from here to here, 1.5. So at this point, you would measure your desk and see how far it would be. Then actually, since there's going to be a thread in here, I might actually want it to be a little thicker. So maybe minus 0.75, and the sketch I'm going to bring down, instead of a 1.5 distance, we'll go like 1.25. So now there's 1.75 in here. Okay, next what we'll do is we are going to create a hole right here, and that hole is going to have the thread so that we can actually lock this onto the desk, because right now we just kind of have an open space, right? And in order to kind of model on here, we're going to use section analysis, get rid of the bodies again, select this and open up and unhide the bodies. Now it looks like nothing's unhidden, but it's the section analysis doing its job. So we're just going to take this, grab it, and drag it up until we see this little blue section, until we see it turn the same color as the solid. And there we go, we're done. And now we can perform a sketch on here. So we're going to select this, create sketch, and we're just going to create a circle, and it's really going to dictate how much space we have. It looks like we can comfortably do a thread that's going to be 3/4 in its diameter, a 3/4 diameter thread, and then we're just gonna, let's see, go off here. Yeah, we'll just call it 3, maybe call it 2.875. There we go. I want it to be like close to center, but the actual center doesn't matter. And as you can see, this is still not fixed in place. I can still move it around. So what we'll do, we did with the first one, we're going to go horizontal, vertical, and we're going to hit the center here, and we're going to hit the origin. and that frees it up. And then we can do solid and extrude this all the way down. Now we could have done that when we extruded this here, we could have had that circle, but in a case like this, when we have a thread here, I want to be able to control the size of the circle on a separate sketch. Okay, now we're gonna unhide this analysis, and that's what we got. We're gonna now create this thread, and creating a thread is very, very easy, and stay tuned to the end of the video, because you can't, with a 3D printer, you can't just create a thread and expect it to work, because threads that they model are going to be exactly like they are in the real world. With 3D printers, you have to account for like shrinkage and cooling and all that kind of stuff, but I'll show you what works for me. So we're going to create the thread, hit create, go to thread, and we're just going to highlight this here, and it should auto-populate. We have a 3/4 10 UNC thread, which is exactly what I want to use. Oh, let me open this back up. So in order for the 3D printer to actually make the thread, right now it's still a solid cone. Open this up and come on, and you're gonna hit the modeled function, and now we have actual threads in here, right? But for the meantime, we're gonna leave it unmodeled. We're just gonna leave it as a cone, right? So now we have to go through and make the threaded rod that's gonna be here. So right now, we're just gonna save this. We'll call it desk cup holder. We're going to save it in add-in project, like wherever we're going to save it. Just make sure it's saved, and we're good. It is there. So we're going to make a new design, and this is going to be for the threaded section, the threaded rod. We're going to create sketch and go off of here. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create the basic outline, which is just going to be the start of what looks like a bolt head. So the first thing that I want to do is here, since we are doing a 0.75, but we're going to revolve it around this axis. So a 0.75 thread divided by 2. There we go. Next thing is going to be this here, which actually we should check to see what the distance is from here to here. And this is another reason why I made this not modeled, because it's going to be a lot easier to use our measurement tools. We're going to show snap points, go from here right on to there. 0.75. Beautiful. So this has to be at least 0.75 in diameter. And instead of 0.75, we'll go with 0.65 just to give ourselves some breathing room. This can be any dimension you really want, and we'll just call it 0.5 just to make it nice. Now, what we need to know is the distance from here to here, or no, sorry, from here to here. So we're going to inspect. We can get rid of the snap points right now. We're going to go from here to here. Or if you want it to be a little bit, more exact, I guess, we can go from here to here, 0.25. So we're measuring from face to face, not line to line, because in case one of the lines is curved for some reason, it's just better to go face to face. Now, of course, it doesn't have to be exactly 0.25, because we're going to have a little, I guess, a little foot here that's going to be placed on there, but it's better to have more thread than less. So we're going to go here, and it has to be 2.5. I'm going to make it 2.5 plus 0.25, so 2.75. There we go. We're going to finish the sketch, and we are going to revolve it. And it's already selected the profile. We're just going to revolve it around here. Okay. Next thing I want to do is where the foot is actually going to be glued into here, and I want it to be glued on the center there. So we're going to create a sketch, and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about if this isn't making any sense. But we're going to make that 0.375 about the center, and we're going to go to solid, extrude, and we're just going to extrude this down. It doesn't matter how far, we'll just go minus 0.4. Okay, now, excuse me, we could make this a hexagonal head, but what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to bring out like a little latch that you can grab onto. So we're going to create a sketch on this face, do a 2-point rectangle, and we're going to do a center rectangle. We're going to go off the center and just kind of drag it out as far as we really want. And this will these dimensions will kind of be up to us. I'm going to make this 0.375, and I'm going to make this 1.65. I think that'll be fine. Oh, you know what we do need to keep in mind? The distance from the center to up here. We can't have it be more than 0.75. So we'll do 0.7 times 2. That's fine. So we'll do that, and then we are just going to extrude this out. Make sure you hit every face, and we'll extrude it out 0.7. I think that should be good. And yeah, I like how that looks. So now what we're going to do is we're going to make threads onto here. So again, we're going to hit create, going to go to thread, and we're just going to select this face, and it'll auto-populate 3/4 to 10 inch UNC, 3/4 - 10 UNC. Okay, I like how this looks. I am going to add fillets to everything last as I usually do. And we're going to save this, and we'll just call it a desk cup holder thread. Okay. Last thing we're going to make is the part that is going to actually clamp everything onto the part that's going to clamp the desk onto the desk. So we're just going to create a line, and again, I'm just going to do a general outline of what we need. So I'm basically doing this side and these two and these three sides here. I'm leaving this blank over here on purpose, and I'll show you why. So right now, this area over here is actually what's going to, oh wait, hold on. I'm missing something, I apologize. This is gonna go down. Okay, there we go. So now this is actually gonna go in the hole that we created. The hole was 0.375 in diameter, so we're gonna make it 0.365. Oh wait, no, that was in diameter, so 0.1875 divided by 2. Am I going crazy? Am I going crazy? Let's see. Diameter is 0.375. Yeah, okay. So 0.37, yeah, 0.375 divided by 2, and we're just going to make it 10,000 smaller, so it's 0.1875, and we'll make it 0.1865. 0.875 minus 0.01. Gosh, I think I am going crazy. It's getting kind of late over here. Okay, so next thing that we're going to do is we're just going to kind of adjust this to how we want it. It's nothing really all that crazy. This has to be 0.75 at max, so we'll make it 0.7. Then we'll make this, here, let's just move this down actually. We'll eyeball it first and then we'll set it. All right, here to here, 0.92, we'll maybe call it an inch. And then this we'll call 0.125. All right, so now here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to create a line. I'm going to drag it out, right? Because what I want to do is I'm going to create an arc, a 3-point arc, and I'm going to go here, here, and I'm going to bring it out. And now, because of this line, it will automatically populate something that is a line that is, excuse me, it's going to auto-populate a line that's tangent to this line. Oh, and because of the depth that we went here, which is 0.4, this is going to be something less than 0.4, 0.375. Let's see. So we have to get rid of this, delete this, go 0.375. There we go. Now it works. And now we can make this the size that it needs to be. And that's it. And what we're going to do is we're going to revolve this around this axis, and that is going to be kind of like our little stomper thing, our little foot. So we're going to save this, and we're just going to call it desk cup holder foot. Okay, that's it. And now, as I usually do at the end, I will always add fillets to things. This will be a 0.02 fillet. And then this will be, I'll show you something here. This will be a 0.03 fillet. This fillet here, so if I actually get rid of the threads, the fillet that's, well, I can't really do that because of how I organize it, but it's fine. This fillet here, I'm actually going to highlight it and delete it because it could potentially mess up our thread, and we don't want that. So now we're going to highlight this thread, or actually no, not yet. We're going to open up everything, and now we're going to start Now we're going to start putting everything together. So I'm going to get the desk cup holder foot, drag it out here, and it'll populate right there. I'm just going to move it out for now. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to angle this down. I'm going to hit the joint feature, and I'm going to hit this circle here, and then I'm moving up, and I'm going to hit this up here. Make sure you're hitting the top one, not the bottom one, and it will automatically join right there. And you can kind of see what we're going for at this point. So we're going to hit OK, and we're going to save this, and OK. So now when it saves, it has the little desk cup holder foot. And we'll go to the desk cup holder original, and what we're going to do now is we're going to take the desk cup holder thread, and we're going to insert it into here. All we're doing is hovering our mouse over this, holding the mouse down, and dragging it out here. And now it's there. So we're going to take this and bring it out. Hit OK. So now what we're going to do is we are going to do another joint. We're just going to go with the top here. I'm going to angle it a little bit so you guys can see better. It doesn't really matter at this point where you put it because it's going to be for visual purposes, but I'll just join from the top here to this right here. Make sure it's snapped to the center, and it moves all the way down there like that. We're going to hit OK. And now we can grab it. No, we're going to have to highlight this. Because it's a rigid selection, I don't want it to be rigid. I want it to be a slider joint. See? So now it's moving up and down. And now I can grab it and move it up and down. What you can do is with the slider joint, you can establish your minimum and maximum. I'm not going to do that for here, but I believe the minimum would be here and the max. Hold on. Oh, we're going to highlight this max. The max would be like 2.5, I believe. Oh, okay, so instead of a maximum, we're going to go with a minimum 2.5. Maybe a minus 2.5. There we go. Oh, well, it's going to be more like 1.75. It's going to be the distance from here to here. So now I can't slide past that. But I mean, like I said, for our purposes of what we're doing, it really doesn't matter. So now we have this here, and we can slide it up and down, and that is our cup holder. But like I said, we need to actually model the threads, because as you can see right now, actually, if I do a section analysis and I go here and flip, you can see, come on man, what are you doing to me? You can see that these are actually digging into each other. So when you 3D print it, these will not fit. So now we are at the point, yeah, see, this is hidden inside a little bit. Oh, just so you guys know, this is planned to be glued in here with like JB Weld or something. So if you want to adjust the diameter here to be a little bit bigger so it's a tighter fit, you're more than welcome to. I was planning on just hot gluing or super gluing it in there or something. Okay. So next thing that we're going to do is we're actually going to model the threads. So we're going to hide this joint, open up the threads, and we're going to model them. And threads, when you 3D print them, like I said, they're not machined, they're not precision made. So we're actually going to have to shrink up these threads to accept the threaded rod here. Because if we don't, it's just going to do weird things. It will not nicely bind together. If you guys want to try 3D printing the thread without what I'm about to show you and see for yourself that it will not work, I have done some experiments myself and found this to work. So we're just going to press pull. We're going to hit the top of the thread, and we're going to go minus 5 thousandths in. We're going to do the same thing with the bottom. Excuse me, guys. We're going to do the same thing with the bottom. Press pull the bottom. We're going to go 5 thousandths in. And then we're going to do the actual face of the thread. Ooh, ignore what I just said. Hit the face of the thread. We're going to press pull here. And here you can go anywhere from 5 thousandths to 10 thousandths. I'm going to go 5 thousandths. Okay. So now we're going to save this. Hit OK. And we're going to go back to this thread here. And we're going to model the thread. And this one does not need to be adjusted. Uh-oh, some stuff happened. What happened? Ah, come on. Let's see. Oh, because it doesn't like that I did all that. So what we're going to do, we're just going to delete this stuff here. Yeah, that's fine. and that's missing its reference. Okay, so we're just gonna cancel, and we're just gonna delete this. So we're just gonna do all that over again. It's not really a big deal. Sometimes you just gotta figure some stuff out. So we're gonna here and right there. See if that works. That works perfectly fine. And then we'll just fill it everything ourselves. It's not a huge deal. Stuff like this just happens, and you know, you don't have to worry about it. It happens, and you figure it out, and you move on. And you just keep going. You know, no reason to give up when one thing goes wrong. But we'll go 0.03, and there we go. Good as new. So now we're going to save this as it is, because now we have a modeled thread, and it says it's not up to date. So we're going to hit that, and it's going to make, oh, right, I got to open these up, and we're going to hit this, and it should populate with the threads. There we go. So now if we grab this and move it up, you can see that it will accept the threads. If we had this sticking out, it still would have done it, but it would have been impossible to thread on. And that's it. Let's see, the analysis we can ignore. And that is our holder that is going to be on the side of our desk. So yeah, took a little while. I tried to move a little quickly just to give you guys like not as long of a video, because I could stretch this entire thing to like an hour, but I don't want to. I'm sure you guys don't want to listen to me for an hour. So basically, this is just going to go onto a table, and your fingers, or I guess if you want to put a wrench or something, is going to tie this all, or is going to tighten everything down to the desk. Oh, and I guess I could make some fillets here to make this a lot cleaner. But again, it's oh, 0.05, 0.5. But that's going to be really up to you guys. I would like to actually put fillets here, because it's going to make it a lot stronger and less likely to break off. So we'll go 0.05. My gosh, 0.5. Let's go like 1 inch. Oh my god, 1 inch. There we go. I would put something here, but because a desk might be bumping up to it, it's not the best idea. But yeah, so that's how you make it. This was a bit of a longer video, a bit of a tougher, thing to model up, but I hope you guys were able to learn something from this. If you did, please feel free to like and subscribe. If you guys want to support me outside of just liking and subscribing, then please do consider heading over into my Etsy. I'm starting to update my store on there more and more. This will most likely be found sometime soon on the Etsy store. And I'm thinking about moving to digital. I'm thinking about moving to digital sales as well, so I could just start selling STL files instead of just physical objects. But again, this is something that I just kind of do for fun. If I don't ever end up making money on it, then whatever. At least I can say that it's something that I tried, right? So yeah, again, if you liked it, please consider liking and subscribing. If you could head over to my Etsy and show me some love there, I would really appreciate it. And I hope you guys end up trying this out for yourself. And if you do, I hope you are able to find some use and some nice new skills to add to your Fusion 360 toolbox, I guess. So thank you very much, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.